the moment you decide to fight back. Have you ever felt like success is this moving train, and no matter how fast you run, it feels like it keeps pulling farther and farther away? Like everyone else around you is getting the promotions, the opportunities, the wins, while you're grinding, sacrificing, showing up, and still wondering, when is it finally my turn? If that's you, listen carefully, because today we're changing the story. Today we are flipping the script. Today, you step into the version of you that refuses to quit, refuses to slow down, and refuses to let life push you into the corner. Because the truth, the real truth, is simple. Hard work always wins. Not instantly, not easily, but always. And this is the moment you start proving that to yourself. America is filled with people who carry dreams on their backs. Dreams whispered during long commutes. Dreams imagined while standing behind cash registers. Dreams held tightly while working double. Them shifts, raising kids alone, or studying at 2 a.m. after a full-time job. We romanticize success in this country, the big houses, the freedom, the applause, but we often forget the early chapters. The chapter where the single mom wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, packs 2 lunches, works 8 hours, then goes to night school because she refuses to live paycheck to paycheck forever. The chapter where a young man works in a warehouse all day and studies YouTube tutorials all night because he knows he's meant for something more. The chapter where nobody sees you, nobody praises you, and nobody believes in you except you. This country was built on the backs of people who worked when no one was watching. People who understood that there are 2 types of pain. The pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And discipline will hurt you today, but regret will haunt you for life. Hard work wins because it forges something inside you that nothing else can build. Identity, toughness, resilience, character, self-belief. You don't get that from luck. You don't get that from shortcuts. You get that when you grind through the days you don't want to get up, don't want to move, don't want to try, but you still do. Let me tell you something that might sting. Success doesn't come to the most talented. Success doesn't come to the smartest. Success comes to the person who stays in the game long after talent gets tired, and that is where hard work becomes your superpower. Here's the part people don't like to talk about. Hard work isn't glamorous, it isn't romantic. Most days, it doesn't feel inspiring at all. Hard work feels like dragging yourself out of bed when your body begs for one more hour. It feels like saying no to parties, to distractions, to comfort. While everyone else seems to enjoy their life effortlessly, it feels like sitting at your laptop, staring at a screen that doesn't care how tired you are. It feels like training alone when nobody is cheering. It feels like saving money while your friends spend everything they earn. Hard work sometimes feels lonely, brutally lonely. But those lonely hours, those unseen sacrifices, those private battles that no one applauds, they become your advantage. You see, every time you push through discomfort, you're sharpening yourself. Every time you stay disciplined, you're separating yourself. Every time you show up when others don't, you're building a gap they'll never be able to close. In the United States, you'll meet people from every background imaginable. Rich, poor, privileged, broken, educated, lost, hopeful. But the one thing that levels the playing field, the one thing that gives every person a fair shot, is the willingness to work. Let me give you a story. A young woman from Ohio, first in her family to go to college. She worked at Starbucks at 5 a.m., attended classes at 10 a.m., studied in the library until midnight. Her friends told her to relax. Her co-workers laughed when she stayed late reading management books. But she kept going. 10 years later, she didn't. Just have a job. She built a company, a thriving one. And people look at her now and say, "You're so lucky." Lucky? No. She worked when others wanted comfort. She sacrificed when others wanted convenience. She didn't wait for permission. She created her own opportunity. That's why hard work wins, because it compounds, it multiplies, it builds momentum, it breaks the ceiling that society places on you, and it transforms ordinary people into extraordinary stories. Every person who's ever reached greatness has a turning point, a moment when all the unseen effort finally meets the opportunity they've been preparing for. The athlete who trained in the dark for years gets one shot on game day. The coder who built 200 failed apps finally releases the one that catches fire. The musician playing shows to empty rooms suddenly goes viral. The student who stayed disciplined while everyone else slacked off finally gets the scholarship that changes everything. And here's the beautiful part. The moment your opportunity arrives, you won't crumble, you won't panic, you won't doubt yourself, you'll be ready. Because you built yourself in the struggle. When hard work pays off, it never feels like luck. It feels like justice. It feels like the universe finally catching up to the grind you've been putting in for years. But here's what most people forget. The turning point never comes to the people who quit too soon. Most people give up right before their breakthrough, right before the momentum kicks in, right before the tide turns, right before they start winning. Success requires surviving the quiet years. Success requires loving the process more than the applause. Success requires believing in the future you don't see yet. That's why winners keep going. Because they understand one truth. Hard work always wins. As long as you refuse to lose yourself in the waiting, here's the part that truly matters. Hard work doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. When you consistently choose discipline over ease, you become someone who can be trusted with big responsibilities. When you show up every day, even when nobody is watching, you become someone who can weather any storm. When you fight through setbacks, failures, rejections, and disappointments, you become someone who doesn't break easily. Hard work creates a version of you that you're proud of, a version that your future family will look up to, a version that your younger self dreamed of becoming. A version that walks with confidence because it was earned, not gifted. Think about America's most inspiring stories. From Oprah Winfrey to Dwayne Johnson to Howard Schultz to J.K. Rowling to Steve Harvey. None of them started with comfort, none started with resources, none started with shortcuts, but they all started with one decision. I will outwork the person I was yesterday. That single decision is what separates dreamers from doers. And here's the truth that only hard workers understand. You don't keep going because things get easier. You keep going because you get stronger. Every challenge sharpens you. Every setback teaches you. Every failure prepares you. Every early morning and late night becomes part of the story you're building. You're not just working toward success. You're becoming the kind of person who deserves success. And that transformation is the real victory. So here's the message I want to leave you with. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You don't need someone to hold your hand. You need one thing, a decision. That this is your moment. A decision that you will not be the person who almost tried. A decision that you will push, grind, fight, learn, sacrifice, and grow until your hard work pays off, because it will, always, eventually. I promise you, it will. So stand up, show up, lock in, and get to work. Your future is waiting, and it belongs to the one who refuses to quit. This is why hard work always wins.